In life, there's something powerful about the choices we make. Each day, we're faced with decisions that impact the direction we take, decisions that shape the life we'll live tomorrow, next year, and far into the future. Often, the things we hold on to, the people we surround ourselves with, and the thoughts that dominate our minds have a massive influence on where we end up. If we want to transform our lives, sometimes it's not about adding more, but about eliminating what doesn't serve us anymore. One of the first things to understand about personal growth is that you can't move forward if you're dragging the wrong things with you. It's like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy load. You'll get tired, frustrated, and eventually give up. The key is to shed the weight that's slowing you down. As we approach the future, there are 5 things you need to completely remove from your life to ensure you step into Arsène Loop stronger, healthier, and more successful than ever. One of the most important things to get rid of is toxic relationships. These are the people who drain your energy, bring negativity into your life, and hold you back from being the best version of yourself. Whether it's friends, family members, or coworkers, toxic relationships can have a far-reaching impact on your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. You've probably encountered people who seem to criticize, belittle, or simply make you feel bad about who you are. They create stress in your life, feed you doubt, and cause you to question your worth. These relationships don't push you forward, they pull you backward. We've all had our share of toxic relationships. Maybe it's a friend who's constantly complaining, a partner who isn't supportive, or someone who doesn't respect your boundaries. The problem with these kinds of relationships is that they tend to keep you in a negative limiting space. When you're around people who don't encourage your growth, who aren't invested in your happiness or success, it's easy to start believing that you're not good enough. The energy of these relationships can drain you in ways you don't even realize. And over time, they can have a profound effect on your mindset. The first step to breaking free from toxic relationships is to recognize them for what they are. It might be difficult because we often try to justify staying in these relationships, telling ourselves that we can fix things, that they'll change. But here's the truth, people rarely change unless they want to. It's hard to break away from people you care about, especially if they've been part of your life for a long time. But it's important to remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not those who bring you down. If someone constantly makes you feel small, disrespects your time, or drags you into their drama, it's time to let them go. The hardest part of letting go of toxic relationships is often the fear of being alone. We fear losing connections, losing people who might have been there for us in the past. But here's the reality. The people who genuinely care for you, who respect your growth and value your success, will always be there. The ones who aren't meant to be in your life will fade away, and that's okay. In fact, that's a sign of progress. As you remove the toxic people from your life, you make room for healthier, more positive connections, people who support your dreams, challenge you to be better, and encourage your growth. But let's take this a step further. It's not just about letting go of others. It's also about letting go of your own negative patterns of thinking. Often, toxic relationships mirror the way we treat ourselves. If you're not valuing your own time, energy, and happiness, you're more likely to attract people who don't value those things either. It's about setting boundaries, learning to say no, and creating space for relationships that nourish your soul. When you let go of toxic relationships, you're not just freeing yourself from negativity, you're making a powerful declaration to the world that you deserve better. You deserve love, respect, and support. You deserve to be around people who want to see you thrive, not those who hold you back. As you start to make these changes, you'll notice a shift in your mindset. You'll start to believe in yourself more. Your confidence will grow because you're no longer surrounded by voices that tell you what you can't do. Instead, you'll be surrounded by people who remind you of what you're capable of. And that's a game changer. Sometimes, when we let go of toxic relationships, it's not just about walking away from people, it's about walking away from old versions of ourselves. You may have been the kind of person who tolerated negativity, who allowed people to treat you poorly, or who stayed in unhealthy relationships out of fear. But as you grow, you'll realize that these things no longer serve you. And when you make that, you take control of your life in a way that will propel you towards success. So as you look ahead to Arsène Lupin, make this a year where you start making room for better people, better energy, and better up. Take stock of the relationships in your life right now. Ask yourself, is this person lifting me up? Are they supporting my growth? Are they adding value to my life? Or are they taking away from it? If the answer is no, it's time to take action. It's not always easy. But remember this, your life is precious, your time is valuable. And the people you surround yourself with will either help you grow or hold you back. Choose wisely. Step into the new year with the confidence that comes from knowing that you've removed the weight of toxic relationships from your shoulders. You'll find yourself lighter, happier, and more energized, ready to take on the challenges of the future. As you move forward into Arsène Lupin, remember that every day is a chance to get better. Every day is a chance to improve, to grow, and to move closer to the person you want to become. And if you want to truly transform your life, it starts by shedding the things that don't belong, starting with toxic relationships. Make this the year you commit to surrounding yourself with people who bring out the best in you. People who encourage you, challenge you, and believe in you even when you doubt yourself. When you do this, your entire life will shift. You have the power to change your life. And it begins with the simple act of saying goodbye to what no longer serves you. If you're ready to make that change, if you're ready to stop settling for less than you deserve, start today. Start with the relationships you allow into your life, and choose only those that help you become the best version of yourself. You're worth it, and you have everything it takes to succeed. As you step into the future, one of the most transformative shifts you can make in your life is to stop making excuses. Excuses are the silent killers of success. They disguise themselves as reasons, and before you know it, they have you convinced that your dreams are just too far out of reach. But here's the truth. Excuses don't help you grow. They keep you stuck. They keep you in a cycle of inaction and self-sabotage, always telling you that you're not ready, not good enough, or that it's just not the right time. In every area of your life, from your career to your health to your personal development, excuses are what prevent you from taking meaningful action. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I don't have the right resources. These are all common excuses that sound convincing at first. But let's break this down. Everyone has the same Arderseeth hours in a day. The successful people you admire aren't some special breed of humans with more time or energy than you. They've simply decided to stop making excuses and start making things happen. It's not that they have it easier or more comfortable. They just choose to show up day after day, regardless of how they feel. It's easy to think that the reason you're stuck is because of some external factor. Maybe you blame your job, your upbringing, or your circumstances for where you are in life. But the moment you start pointing to the outside world as the reason for your lack of progress, you give away your power. You let the world dictate your life instead of taking control and making decisions based on your own vision. Here's the thing, successful people don't make excuses. They take responsibility. They own their mistakes, they take full accountability for their failures, and they learn from them. They know that their actions today create the future they'll live tomorrow. When you make excuses, you tell yourself that you're not capable. You give yourself an out. You allow fear, uncertainty, and doubt to dictate your actions instead of your goals and your potential. If you want to change your life, you have to break free from the cycle of excuses. You have to take responsibility for where you are and make a commitment to take action, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel at first. One of the most damaging excuses we make is the victim mentality. It's easy to fall into this trap, especially when things aren't going well. It feels good to blame others, to say, "This happened to me," or "It's not my fault." But the reality is, everyone faces challenges. Life is full of ups and downs. Some people are dealt better hands than others, but the truth is, how you respond to those challenges matters far more than the challenges themselves. When you adopt a victim mentality, you're giving away your power. You're telling yourself that you have no control over your life and that everything is happening to you. But the moment you stop playing the victim and start taking responsibility for your actions, that's when your life begins to change. Success isn't about avoiding defeat. It's about learning how to deal with them, how to navigate the tough moments, and keep moving forward. Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth if you choose to see it that way. So, instead of making excuses, start focusing on solutions. Ask yourself, what can I do today to move forward? Every small step you take, every decision you make to stop making excuses and start taking action, builds momentum toward your goals. We all have a tendency to get comfortable in our current situation. It's natural. It's easier to stay where we are, even if we're not happy with it, because change is uncomfortable. But nothing happens in the comfort. If you want to see real growth, if you want to live the life you've always dreamed of, embrace discomfort. You have to take risks. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating opportunities in the present. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop waiting for someday and start acting today. Every day is a fresh opportunity to make progress. You don't need a special day or a new year to begin your journey. Begin right now with whatever you have. Whether it's just minutes to work on a project or an hour to invest in your health, make it happen. Don't wait for the stars to align. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll be waiting forever. Life won't wait for you, and neither should you. Remember, there are no shortcuts to success. You have to put in the work. But the key is to stop letting excuses hold you back. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," ask yourself, "How can I make time?" Instead of saying, "I'm not ready," ask yourself, "What can I do right now to get ready?" When you take that first step, the second one becomes easier. And soon, you'll look back and realize how much you've accomplished just by stopping the excuses and starting the action. Excuses come from fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But fear isn't something you need to avoid, it's something you need to face. When you stop making excuses, you step into your courage. You take action even when you're scared, and that's when real growth happens. It's not about being fearless, it's about acting in spite of your fear. One of the best things you can do to stop making excuses is to surround yourself with people who inspire you, people who hold you accountable, people who refuse to let you settle for less than your best. When you're around others who are committed to their growth, you'll find it easier to stay motivated and focused. You'll see firsthand that success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect conditions. It comes from showing up and doing the work, no matter how challenging it may seem. As you move into the next year, make a commitment to yourself to stop making excuses. Take responsibility for your life and your choices. Own your decisions and stop waiting for things to change on their own. It's time to take action, it's time to make progress, and it's time to stop letting excuses stand in the way of your success. You are capable of more than you know. The only thing holding you back is the stories you tell yourself. Stop telling yourself why you can't and start telling yourself how you can. So here's the simple truth. If you want to create the life you dream of, if you want to build the future you deserve, stop making excuses and start making progress. Take responsibility, face your fears, take action. And when you do, you'll find that nothing can stop you from achieving your goals. One of the biggest challenges people face in life is a lack of focus. Without clear goals or a sense of direction, it's easy to get lost, to feel overwhelmed by the noise and distractions of daily life. So when you don't have a clear idea of where you're going, you can easily waste time and energy on things that don't matter. It's not just about having goals, it's about having the right goals and knowing how to prioritize them. If you don't know where you're going, how will you ever get there? When you look around, it's easy to see how many people are unfocused. They drift from one task to the next without a real sense of purpose or priority. They react to life instead of taking charge, and the result? They end up nowhere. But focus is one of the key ingredients to success. It's the foundation that everything else is built upon. If you want to achieve anything meaningful in life, you have to start by figuring out what truly matters to you, and then concentrate all your efforts on those things. Take a look at your life. What are you really working toward? Are you clear on your goals? Or are you just responding to what life throws at you, running from one thing to the next, without ever truly finishing anything? Having clear, focused goals is like having a compass that helps you navigate through the chaos of everyday life. Without it, you can easily find yourself off track, wasting precious time and energy on things that don't matter. It's easy to get caught up in the small stuff, people's opinions, things that seem urgent but aren't really important. But if you don't know what your big picture goals are, and when everything is important, nothing truly is. Setting clear goals isn't just about writing down a list of things you want to achieve. It's about knowing your why. Why do you want to accomplish this? What's the deeper motivation behind your goals? The more specific and meaningful your goals are, the more likely you'll be able to stay focused on them, especially when things get tough. But here's the catch. Just knowing your goals isn't enough. The key to success lies in prioritizing those goals. Many people have a dozen or more goals at any given time. They want to lose weight, start a business, learn a new skill, build better relationships, and these are all great ambitions. But the truth is, when you try to focus on everything, you end up focusing on nothing. Spread yourself too thin. You lose sight of what matters most, and the result is that you make little progress on anything. It's easy to get distracted, to chase after every new shiny object that catches your attention. But if you want to truly succeed, you need to focus on the most important things, the ones that will bring you the greatest results. Prioritizing your goals requires it's about making hard choices and saying no to things that aren't aligned with your bigger vision. It means making the conscious decision to ignore the distractions and the noise and instead focus on what's most important. It means saying no to people, tasks, and commitments that pull you away from your path. Remember, you can't be all things to all people. If you try, you'll end up being nothing to yourself. When you're clear about your priorities, life becomes much simpler. You start to see where you need to put your time and energy. You make fewer decisions because your goals have already given you the answers. You don't waste time wondering what you should be doing because you know what matters most. Focus doesn't just help you achieve more, it helps you live with intention. Every action you take becomes purposeful. Every decision has a clear direction. But here's the catch, it's not enough to simply say, I have these goals. You must align your actions with your goals. Every day, you need to be taking steps toward them, even if they're small. Progress is progress, no matter how slow. The key to focus isn't waiting for the perfect moment to act. It's acting with what you have, where you are. The challenge of staying focused is often more about managing your distractions than it is about the goals themselves. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. From social media to emails to random thoughts that pop into your head. It's easy to lose track of your priorities. But every time you give in to distraction, you're giving up a piece of your future success. Every minute spent scrolling through social media, every hour wasted watching videos that don't add value, takes you one step further away from the life you want to build. You have to guard your time like it's the most valuable resource you have, because it is. You can always make more money, but you can never get back lost time. That's why the most successful people in the world are also the most disciplined when it comes to their focus. They know how to say no to distractions. They know how to shut off their phones, block out the noise, and focus on what matters. It's not easy. It takes practice, but it's worth it. When you start taking control of your time and focusing on your goals, the results speak for themselves. You'll start accomplishing things that once seemed impossible. Another critical piece of focus is developing the ability to say no. This might be the hardest part for some people because saying no feels uncomfortable. It feels like you're letting people down or missing out on something. But here's the truth. Saying no to the wrong things is saying yes to the right things. It's saying yes to your goals, your dreams, and your future. You don't need to do everything or be everything to everyone. What you need is to stay focused on the things that align with your values and move you toward your big vision. If something doesn't fit into that, it's okay to say no. Take a moment to reflect on your current goals. Are they clear? Are they aligned with your deeper purpose? Are you prioritizing the right things, or are you spreading yourself too thin, trying to do everything at once? If your goals feel unclear or overwhelming, it might be time to step back and rethink your approach. Ask yourself what truly matters. What are the few things you can focus on that will make the biggest impact? If you want to accomplish something significant by Arling Arshalub, you need to start now. Focus on the few things that will move the needle in your life. When you focus your energy on what matters most, you'll create momentum. You'll start to see results. And over time, those results will compound into something incredible. Focus is the key that unlocks the door to success. Once you develop the ability to prioritize your goals and stay laser focused on them, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Success isn't about being busy. It's about being productive. And productivity comes from having a clear sense of direction and staying focused on your most important goals. So as you prepare for the future, ask yourself, what can I focus on right now that will make the biggest difference? Make that your priority and watch your life begin to transform. Another barrier that holds so many people back from achieving their fullest potential is the constant battle with self-doubt and negative self-talk. If you ever found yourself questioning your abilities, doubting your worth, or telling yourself that you're not good enough to achieve your dreams, you're not alone. In fact, it's something almost everyone struggles with at some point. But here's the key to remember. Self-doubt and negative self-talk are not your reality. They're just thoughts. And like all thoughts, they can be changed. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you can start to break free from the grip of negativity and take control of your life. Self-doubt is a quiet enemy. It creeps in when you least expect it. It's that little voice inside your head that tells you, you can't do this, or Who do you think you are to try this? It can paralyze you, making you feel like you're incapable of achieving anything meaningful. This voice often starts in childhood when you're criticized, overlooked, or made to feel like you're not enough. Over time, this voice becomes louder, more convincing, and harder to ignore. And before you know it, it controls how you see yourself and what you believe you're capable of. But here's the reality: your thoughts do not define you. They are simply that, thoughts. They come and go. Just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. The truth is, self-doubt is simply a result of not fully trusting yourself or your abilities. It's rooted in fear, the fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not living up to expectations. But fear is an illusion. It's a feeling, not a fact. When you accept that fear and self-doubt are normal but not permanent, you begin to take away their power over you. The key to overcoming self-doubt is to stop believing the negative thoughts you have about yourself. When you start to notice them, stop and question them. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Where's the evidence to support it? What would I tell a friend if they were thinking this about themselves? More often than not, you'll realize that the negative thoughts you're having are based on assumptions, not facts. You have the power to change your thoughts. If you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. One of the most effective ways to tackle negative self-talk, is by replacing it with positive affirmations and empowering beliefs. Every time you catch yourself thinking something negative, counter it with a positive, powerful statement about yourself. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough to start my own business," remind yourself, "I have the skills, the passion, and the drive to make this work." It may feel awkward at first, especially if you're not used to thinking this way, but with practice it becomes easier. Over time, these positive thoughts will start to dominate your mindset, and self-doubt will begin to lose its grip. One of the most powerful tools for overcoming self-doubt is building confidence through action. When you take action, even small steps toward your goals, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every time you push through your fear and doubt, you strengthen your belief in yourself. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. When you accomplish something, no matter how small, you send a message to your brain that you can do this. You start to build evidence that contradicts the negative thoughts you've been carrying around. Over time, these small wins add up, and your self-doubt will start to fade. Self-doubt is also often linked to perfectionism. You may think that in order to succeed, everything needs to be flawless. You need to have all the answers, all the details figured out, and every step of the process planned perfectly. But that's simply not true. Perfectionism is another form of procrastination. It's an excuse to avoid taking action out of fear that it won't be good enough. The truth is, no one has all the answers, and nothing ever goes exactly as planned. The key is to start. Take imperfect action. Learn along the way. Each step forward will give you more confidence and clarity. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. And in the meantime, self-doubt will only grow stronger. But if you take action despite your doubts, you'll start to build the life you want, one step at a time. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. The more you persist, the more you'll prove to yourself that you are capable, and the more you'll reduce the power of negative self-talk. It's also important to remember that everyone experiences self-doubt. Even the most successful people have moments of insecurity. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that successful people push through their doubt and keep going. They don't let fear stop them. They don't let negative thoughts dictate their actions. They recognize that self-doubt is simply a natural part of the process, but it doesn't have to define them. To overcome negative self-talk, it's also essential to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the conversations you engage in can either fuel your self-doubt or lift you up. Choose to spend time with people who believe in you, who encourage you, and who push you to be your best self. Avoid those who constantly criticize, put you down, or make you feel like you're not enough. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping how you see yourself and what you believe you can accomplish. Negative self-talk is a habit, and like all habits, it can be broken with time and effort. It's not going to change overnight, but the more aware you become of your thoughts, the easier it will be to catch yourself when you're being negative. And the more you replace those negative thoughts with positive, empowering beliefs, the more natural it will feel. Over time, you'll begin to see yourself not as someone who is constantly doubting, but as someone who is confident, capable, and worthy of success. The next time self-doubt creeps in, remember this: it's just a thought. It doesn't define you. You have the ability to change it. You have the ability to take action, to prove to yourself that you can do anything you set your mind to. The only thing standing between you and your success is your belief in yourself. The moment you stop letting doubt control you and start believing in your own abilities, that's when your life will truly begin to change. So don't let self-doubt hold you back. Take action, trust yourself, and watch how your confidence grows with every step you take. You are capable of far more than you think. Don't let negative thoughts stop you from realizing your potential. The last thing that has the power to derail your progress, and prevent you from achieving your greatest success, is procrastination. It's one of the most common traps we all fall into, and yet it's one of the most destructive forces in your life. Procrastination doesn't just steal your time. It steals your dreams, your future, and the life you want to create. Every day you delay, every time you put off the hard work, you push your success further away. It's a cycle that repeats itself over and over, and it's a habit that once formed can be incredibly difficult to break. But the good news is you have the power to break free from procrastination, and when you do, your life will change in ways you can't even imagine. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll get to it later"? You probably told yourself that 1,000,000 times. You make excuses about why now isn't the right time, why you need more information, why you need to wait for the perfect conditions. But here's the truth: the perfect moment doesn't exist. If you keep waiting for everything to line up perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. The key to breaking the cycle of procrastination is to stop waiting for the right time and start acting now, no matter how imperfect your start may be. Procrastination is often rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, fear of not being good enough. It's easy to put things off when you're afraid of the outcome. You convince yourself that if you delay long enough, you won't have to face your fears. But that's a lie. All you're really doing is adding more stress to your life. The more you delay, the more anxiety you create for yourself. You're not escaping fear, you're prolonging it. The real trick to overcoming procrastination is understanding that perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Waiting for everything to be perfect is the surest way to keep yourself stuck in the same place. The key is to take action, even if it's messy, even if you don't have all the answers. Every small step forward is progress. Every effort, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. Procrastination thrives on the idea that you need to be fully prepared, fully ready, and fully equipped before you take action. But the truth is, you don't need to know everything. You just need to start. The most successful people in the world don't wait for things to be perfect. They start before they're ready. They dive in and figure things out along the way. Success doesn't come from waiting for the right moment. It comes from making the most of the moment you have right now. If you want to stop procrastinating and start achieving, you need to embrace the idea that action is more important than perfection. Take imperfect action, take messy action. The key is to get started and then refine your approach as you go. Another reason procrastination holds so many people back is because of the overwhelming feeling that comes with large goals or projects. When you look at something big, something that requires a lot of work, it's easy to feel paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of it. You see the finish line far off in the distance, and it feels impossible to reach. But that's the mistake most people make. They look at the big picture and forget to focus on the small steps. Breaking a big project or goal into smaller, more manageable tasks is one of the most effective ways to stop procrastination in its tracks. Instead of saying, I need to write a book, break it down into smaller pieces. I'll write woo-back words today, or I'll plan out my chapters this week. By focusing on one small task at a time, you remove the pressure and make the task feel more achievable. Each small step you take builds momentum and makes the next one easier. And before you know it, you've moved from a place of inaction to a place of consistent progress. But the challenge with procrastination isn't just about the fear of starting. It's about the fear of finishing. Many people procrastinate because they're afraid of what success will look like. They fear the responsibility that comes with achieving their goals, or they worry that once they succeed, they won't know what to do next. This fear of success can be just as paralyzing as the fear of failure. But the truth is, the best way to overcome this fear is to focus on the process, not the outcome. Success is built through small, consistent actions. Focus on what you need to do today, this week, or this month, and trust that the results will follow. To overcome procrastination, you also need to tackle the underlying habits that enable it. Procrastination isn't something that happens in a vacuum. It's often the result of poor time management, lack of structure, and lack of accountability. If you don't have a plan, it's easy to put things off. If you don't have clear deadlines or a system for tracking your progress, procrastination will always find a way to sneak in. That's why it's crucial to develop a routine that supports your goals. Create a schedule that allows you to break your work into smaller tasks. Set clear, realistic deadlines for each step of the process, and hold yourself accountable. This means creating a system that helps you stay on track and pushing yourself to follow through, even when you don't feel like it. It can also help to find an accountability partner, someone who can check in with you, encourage you, and keep you focused on your goals. When you know that someone is counting on you to get things done, it creates a sense of responsibility that can push you to take action. Another powerful way to stop procrastinating is to focus on your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? What will it mean for your life, your family, your career, or your future? When you have a strong sense of purpose behind what you're doing, it's easier to push through the resistance that procrastination creates. Your why becomes the fuel that keeps you going when it